Hello, Chiefs Kingdom, and welcome to the Arrowhead Kingdom Chiefs Cast, live from the Wolf Den. I am Chris.
I'm Josh, and today we're going to be talking Week 15 and previewing Week 16. Big reminder that all Chiefs fans are invited to join us for game day. Please visit arrowheadkingdom.org to learn more about the group and to find your local chapter. And also, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe to this channel.
Today, we're talking about your Kansas City Chiefs. We're going to go over an exciting game against the Chargers and the COVID-ravaged matchup against the Steelers.
Got it, rock and roll. And also, don't forget, we are presented by Complete Weddings and Events, your leading provider of photo, video, DJ, photo booth, lighting, and coordination services. Visit them at completewedo.com. And it looks like Brian is trying to get on.
Yeah.
So we're texting him right now. We might as well just let that fourth wall down while we're doing this. So I'll be looking at the waiting room as soon as he's ready to pop in. But I don't see any reason that we don't start talking about what we have going on right now. And as you mentioned, COVID ravaged, and we'll get into that more when we start previewing the Week 16 matchup that's potentially this Sunday against Pittsburgh. I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up being played a little later. The NFL made it clear with 3 games that they're willing to do the whole pushback thing. But let's talk about that win over the Chargers for a bit here first. I mean, that was a pretty fun football game to watch.
Yeah, it was. That's the best game I've seen them play in maybe since Super Bowl 54. It was that exciting. Yeah. In terms of the magnitude of the game, obviously, because this was for the division, and then you come to find out that it actually boosted the Chiefs up to the 1 seed in the AFC.
Yeah,
but it was back and forth. Well, not necessarily back and forth, but the Chargers had pretty good control in the fourth quarter. But when it came time, Patrick Mahomes and the offense stepped up and they matched blow for blow. And then Melvin Ingram, for the second time in one night, wins the coin toss, and they take it right down and win the game.
Yeah. I would say my key takeaway from that game, if there's really one thing that I'm pulling out of it, is that one, I'm looking forward to this Herbert Mahomes rivalry. This is just going to be fun. I like having division rivals, and this one's certainly a fun one. That's my 1A. My 1B is I do not want that rivalry to continue in the playoffs. I want nothing to do with a third game against the Chargers. The good news is I think that they'll probably charger it away in a wild card weekend or division round, and we're not going to end up having to have them be our problem. I don't think they're going to be the 7 seed, which means that they're not going to be trying to knock off like a Patriots or a Bills or a Titans team or anything like that. I don't think that we're going to see an NFC North team or an AFC North team in that 2 seed, but I certainly would not be interested in welcoming the Chargers back again. I don't want to play them again. We've done that. We've played that one out.
Yeah. We'll see. Granted, we didn't have maybe our best 3. At every level of the defense, we were missing someone big in this game. And for all the comments Troy Aikman kept making about how Chris Jones would have helped the run defense, really what would have helped the run defense would have been Willie Gay. I think he makes a huge difference. And L'Jarius Sneed is not afraid to get his nose in there at the line of scrimmage either. So I think those guys were actually more important for the run defense, whereas I think Chris Jones was really important for the lack of pass rush that we were getting on Justin Herbert.
No, that's a good point. Maybe I'm giving the fear of that game a little more credit than it should. It's just I don't like playing a team 3 times in 1 year.
You're not the only person that echoes that sentiment, though. I've heard that from many fans that they want no part of the Chargers again.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Brian, how's it going?
Hey, sorry about that. Here I am. I'm here. I'd like to play the Raiders again, though. That'd be fun.
That would be
That
okay.
would
Yeah,
be a
yeah.
great matchup. Yeah.
And I guess with them beating the Browns, they're not really as eliminated as I thought they would be by this time. I thought the Browns were going to go in and roll herd on them or whatever, but none of that actually happened. I mean, every team at this point, there's the whole adage that by the time you get halfway through the season, everybody's injured. So quit using injuries as an excuse. COVID's kind of becoming that second one of those. Brian, what were your key takeaways from that win over the Chargers?
That's Travis Kelce's world, man. We just live in it, as far as I'm concerned.
Very well said.
I mean, it was an exciting game. You know, it was just so exciting, and the way it ended, I remember screaming so loud, so enthusiastically. I don't know what you guys' takes were on this. Like, I felt like obviously it was a close game, and we went to extra quarters or whatever, another overtime, I should say, and so I remember the first time we played them, it was awfully close there as well. But we also had quite a few turnovers, and I don't know if it's just like the Chargers are that good. We weren't necessarily that. We should not have turned it over as much during that first meeting with them, and I felt like we should have won that game. But this game was taken to the very end, as close as you can ask for, really. And I guess the Chargers maybe are really just that good. Tell me I'm wrong.
No, that's pretty much where we're going to. I mean, this is just going to be a fun rivalry, and rivalry games are awesome. It makes football compelling. The Chiefs are hopefully going to lock up a 6th AFC West title here in a row, which when we're talking about records.
God bless the Colts.
Yeah, exactly. Well, no, I'm talking about AFC West. So AFC West.
Okay,
if we lock up a 6th AFC West, that'll be the first time that anybody's ever won this conference or this division 6 times in a row. The Broncos did it 5 from 11 to 15. So, there's 3 games left to take care of business. And let's talk about the one coming up this Sunday. So the first caveat I think we have to throw out is as of right now, this game is 3:25 Central on Sunday in Arrowhead, but the NFL moved 3 games this last week to a second Monday and then 2 Tuesday matchups to help with all the COVID protocol that's going on. And the Chiefs are a team that got hit really hard this week. So I wouldn't say that it's out of the realm of possibility that this game ends up being delayed in to the Monday or Tuesday type of realm. But for the time being, let's talk about it like it's happening on Sunday. Aside from getting 14 players back off the COVID list, Chris, what are your kind of keys to victory that you'd be looking for against Pittsburgh?
I mean, I guess in terms of, let's just assume that Gordon and Gay are going to be back. So I guess it's now 12 players that are on the list right now. In terms of the keys to victory against the Steelers, I mean, it definitely evens the playing field quite a bit. Mm-hmm. But I think the big key is going to be, offensively taking care of the football. I mean, really, it's going to be simple. Take care of the football on offense. Don't turn it over to the Steelers. And on defense, I mean, they got to get a decent pass rush on that statue of a quarterback in Ben Roethlisberger, whether Chris Jones is going to be healthy or not. And hopefully they can figure that out. There's nothing really that impressive about the Steelers, but yet they seem to find ways to win in the fourth quarter from time to time, especially last weekend. But you know what? So did the Chiefs last week against the Chargers. So I think I like the Chiefs in a close game in the fourth quarter, even if they don't have Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, as crazy as that sounds, because I think that I definitely want Patrick Mahomes in the fourth quarter over Ben Roethlisberger. So I really just think it's being disciplined in this game and not trying to do too much.
Yeah, I'm going to kind of echo some of those sentiments and go in a slightly different direction. I think from an offensive standpoint, it's block TJ Watt. I mean, that's really what it is. Block TJ Watt. Don't let him win the game. I was listening to Nick Wright earlier this week, and he was talking about how in the Steelers' 7 wins, TJ Watt was the specific difference in 6 of those. Like he made specific plays that propelled the Steelers to a win. So don't let TJ Watt be a factor. So offensive line, including Pro Bowler Orlando Brown, and whoever we have ended up playing right tackle and our guards and stuff. Just keep the Steelers out of the backfield and keep them off of Mahomes. But the thing the Steelers don't do very well on defense is stop the run. So run the ball, get the running game going. Commit to it, get the running game going. Patrick Mahomes has gone on the record saying that if he doesn't have Hill and Kelsey, he trusts Josh Gordon. I sincerely hope that's true. And I think that if they're able to take the opportunity to get some chemistry and put some actual stats up in this game, that would be, maybe a little bit of a blessing in disguise for this situation. That's really not a blessing at all. This is horrible.
But I mean, there is a silver lining maybe because they haven't gotten Josh Gordon.
Exactly.
Worked in the offense. They haven't got Noah Gray going in the offense really that much.
Gray's on it. No, it's not Gray. That's on
Blake Bell's on the
Blake
list.
Bell's on protocol. Yeah.
So yeah, but Noah Gray might see some targets. That might actually benefit the team, especially if they get a win. If they're still in that situation, let's be clear, they still might get a lot of these guys back. Because the protocol is that I think it's a negative test and asymptomatic. So it's still possible that they could get some or most of the players on the list back, except for Harrison Butker.
Yeah, the Chiefs are one of the more heavily vaccinated teams. That's definitely something that's come out. They're in like the 90% range and stuff. So it would be certainly welcome for getting big chunks of our roster back.
If we measured this in Aaron Rodgers, it'd be like I don't know, like 1 Aaron Rodgers, or would it be 10 Aaron Rodgers? I don't know. We have 1 Aaron.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully Butker is immunized. Which have you guys had the chance?
Oh, we're immunized. Yes, immunized. Sure.
Have you guys had the chance to watch the new South Park post-COVIDs?
I'm sorry, what?
Have you guys had the chance to watch the South Park post-COVIDs?
I watched trailers. Okay, I'm waiting for it all to come out before I get Peacock. I'm going to do a trial run.
Paramount Plus, not Peacock.
Paramount Plus, excuse me. Paramount Plus. And I'm going to do the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to get a free trial and then I'm going to binge all of it at one time.
Well, they've got the 2 episodes on there for post-COVID, and I think they're done with that story. I could be wrong. But with the 2 episodes, they've done a really good job. I think they did a great job of making all the kids older. I loved what they did, and it's
isn't Cartman a rabbi?
He is. Rabbi Cartman. Rabbi Cartman.
That is so great.
Yeah. He's got a wife named Yentl. It's good. I won't spoil anything. I'm less concerned with the people that are watching this than you guys. But so I won't spoil anything for you. But watch it now. So yeah. On the defensive side of the ball, I mean, Chris, I completely agree with you. We need to just make sure that we make Roethlisberger's life more miserable than it is right now. Anyway, don't let their Najee Harris start to get his footing or anything. And for the most part, it's just whatever your plan is in the first, that's probably going to be working because that seems to be the script the Steelers follow. Don't let them out adjust you at halftime. The one thing that I think the Steelers have that's great is Mike Tomlin. And if there's anything that I think he's shown over this year, it's that he can, make a chicken salad out of chicken other stuff. So,
he's very underrated. Yeah.
Good job there. So, Brian, do you have any keys to victory aside from any of the things we've been talking about?
Well, obviously what's going on is nasty little thing. Obviously, it's going to be frustrating. As long as we have Patrick Mahomes in our corner, I think anything's possible. That's my philosophy on that. And if I put myself in the mindset of people stepping up with the offensive weapons who are not available, that gives them an opportunity to show off what they have, show off what they got for for a longer period of time. So some people rise to that occasion, and I would imagine that if you are a professional athlete at that level, you would rise to such one would rise to such an occasion. So it reminds me of years ago when Trent Green was unavailable, and that was Dwayne Heward. He became like one of the best quarterbacks in the league.
Damon Heward,
yeah.
Is Damon Heward?
Damon Heward,
yeah. It wasn't like his QBR was like insane good, and well, that's the kind of talent we're working with here. There's give me an opportunity, put me in, and then you'll see what I got here. So I'll be looking forward to obviously if things stay the way they are, then I think as long as Mahomes is in there, it'll be a tight one, but I would like to see what the kind of the second string has to do and what the backup players are doing. So it'll be fun.
Yeah.
I'll be there.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to the game. I think the Chiefs win. I think they win by at least a touchdown. That's where I'm at. I mean, I think that the game ends up being closer than it would be if we have a full roster, which Chris points out we might have a full roster. We still reserve the right to blow the doors off of the Steelers when they come to town. But I think I'm with Chris that it's going to end up being a closer game than we'd prefer. So I'll go with like 27-20 for a score. Brian, what are you thinking from a score standpoint?
Oh, I'm thinking it's going to be 17-10 Chiefs.
Got it, Chris.
A little bit closer to where Brian's at. I'm going to say probably 20-16.
Got it. Okay, so you're thinking they're going to convert a couple 2-point conversions, or they're going to convert one, fail at another, and kick a field goal.
There's a safety.
Yeah.
Math is fun. Hey, well, it's like I remember growing up, you would go to a Super Bowl party and you always do that thing where you buy the square and
yeah,
so we'll be sitting watching the Super Bowl going like, wow, if they get 3 safeties and I get my I get my $3.50 for the first quarter.
One day I want to see it's a score that's like 2-0. I want to see that.
Well, and then meanwhile, I'm sitting here going, this is highly possible if we're playing Tecmo Super Bowl and I've got Derek Thomas. I'll get 3 safeties. That's possible.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Exactly. Like there's a lot of those situations. You do math games while you watch the Super Bowl, and then the commercials come on. You miss the commercial. So.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, I think there was one game this year. It was like, I don't know if this is accurate, but it was like the first time there had ever been a score. It was like 8-5 or something like that. I can't remember the teams, but there has been some really weird score like that this year.
Yeah.
Complete baseball score, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, that's probably, if we're being really authentic, more like a lacrosse score. That seems like a lacrosse score. I don't watch a ton of it, but I feel like when I turn it on, it's a score like that. All right. So rest of the season, we got the Steelers, then the Bengals, then the Broncos. I've been kind of maintaining that I think that Bronco game is going to mean something, and with a 1 seed potentially in play, we would have to see probably the Bills and Patriots tie this weekend, and then the Titans also lose for there to be any chance that we're going to be resting starters, and then we also have to win the next two games to go into that. So I think that we're going to be trying to keep that 7 or 8 going for the Broncos. I still think they went out, and that we go into the playoffs on a 10-game win streak. Chris, what are you thinking for the rest of the season?
I still think, I don't know. I mean, I still have this weird feeling that Cincinnati game is going to be weird. And now with COVID-19, I mean, who knows? I was definitely riding high after Thursday night thinking, okay, I mean, they're definitely going to run the table. They should run the table still. They should still beat Pittsburgh. Even though I keep staring at this list of players, I mean, good Lord, On the defensive side of the ball, Nick Bolton, Rashad Fenton, Charvarius Ward, Chris Jones. So
Maybe they'll play loose. Maybe they'll play loose, like because they know the pressure is
maybe,
not the same. You know, maybe even more loose.
yeah. So yeah, not that I can't factor COVID into, hey, is that going to affect us in the last 2 weeks of the season? But it's just been a weird year. They should run the table, but I still got this eerie feeling that they're going to drop one Cincy or Denver.
Got it. Brian, what are you thinking for the last three?
Well, I'm going to hang on, even with the situation we have now. I think running the table, like they've just been on fire lately. And I know we have this situation coming up this weekend, but man, is their confidence. Man, does the defense look good. I know in a lot of, Chris Jones, you take Chris Jones out of that or whatever, then we have obviously that changes the dynamic quite a bit. But I will say this, that I'm glad it's, if this was going to happen, I mean, we're going into the non kind of division games. So that's something, I suppose. But I mean, I don't know. I feel good. I mean, as long as Mahomes is in there, I think anything can happen. If we're going to be running the ball, it's good to see. Is Edwards-Helaire, is he on the list? He's on the list, is he?
No, he's not on the COVID list. Luckily, no running backs are.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, that's what the Steelers are bad at.
All right. Well, guess what, Edwards-Helaire? It's you've been doing good. It's time to really step up and shine. So here it comes. So it'll be fun to see that. And I got to say, following the Chiefs as closely as I have now in the last few years, doing this podcast and being part of the team here, I got to say, whenever I see the team like do well running, I get really excited watching the game now when I see that good running stuff happen. I never used to watch football like that. I was always looking forward to those big plays, big bombs and big throws. But when I see them move the ball like 6 yards here, 8 yards there, I get really excited. So it's just changed my dynamic of how I watch the game. More of that makes the defense get confused and have to adjust. And next thing you know, we're going to hit a long pass. So yeah, I'm excited to see what Edwards-Helaire does in the running game.
Yeah, I mean, that was the Jamal Charles era, except we never really made anybody pay with a long pass.
Yeah. It's I'll say that actually. You just reminded me. I'll say this for my final take, so I'll stop there. But yeah, I have a final take coming up that I think you're gonna like.
Yeah, perfect. All right.
Okay.
So rest of the AFC, Chris, who are you thinking are gonna win the divisions and be the wild cards right now?
Oh, let me get that in front of me real quick. So let's see. The East. God, I still am bullish on the Buffalo Bills, but I'm going to take the Patriots in the East. The South, man, the Colts are starting to come on. I'll stay with the Titans. In the North, I think that the Bengals are going to take it just because the Ravens, with Lamar Jackson being as banged up as he is. And then as far as the wild cards go, I'm going to go with the Bills. I'm going to go with the Colts, and I'm going to go with the Chargers.
I think I'm exactly in the same place that you are, with the exception of I think the Patriots close out the East. So yeah, I'm thinking that the seeds are going to be Chiefs 1, Patriots 2. We'll go with Titans 3, Ravens. I do think get it done, and it comes down to them beating Cincinnati in their head-to-head this weekend. And then we have the Chargers, the Colts, and the Bills in the three wild card spots. Brian, any thoughts?
The Dolphins are going to go to the postseason, aren't they?
Aren't they? It's not over. It really isn't.
No, it's not.
Yeah, so I mean, looking at the spreadsheet that I have, it legitimately still is 13 teams that are vying for it. The 3 eliminated being the Jags, the Texans, and the New York Jets, your favorite. Everybody else is legitimately still alive. Now, I think the Broncos and Raiders, we're throwing the term legitimate around pretty loosely. saying that they're still alive. I would also throw the Browns in that situation as well at this point. Mainly because they just don't really strike me as teams that are really going in the right direction. The Ravens and the Bengals is the most interesting race in my opinion. And it's because neither one of them particularly feel like they're going in the right direction. I don't think Pittsburgh has what it takes to come in and snipe that division away by any means. But, we got Ravens and Bengals this weekend, and that one's in Cincinnati. That's probably the most interesting game this weekend for me. Then the Ravens play the Rams, and then they host the Steelers, and the Bengals host the Ravens and us, and then they go to Cleveland. So, I don't know. I mean, to me, that's two teams that are going to win 2 of their last 3 games, and it all just comes down to who wins this head to head. And at the end of that point, maybe the Bengals don't win 2 of their last 3, because I don't see them beating Kansas City. So yeah, I mean, the Ravens will get their 2 wins they need. They'll beat the Bengals, lose to the Rams, beat the Steelers at home, put the final nail in the coffin.
Balanced league we have here. Wow.
Yep. No, this is like a wet dream for the NFL. looking at what this is. You have all these teams that are just alive. Over on the NFC side, you've got most of the league is still available over there as well.
Jeez, yeah, look at that. They're all
very little eliminated.
Yeah, how fun. I mean, this is I see the Dolphins. What a story there. I mean, if you're a Dolphins fan, you're watching every game for the next and paying attention to the other games too. You're excited for all of them. So there's gonna be a lot of viewership going on with this. I mean, heck, look at the AFC North, like 8-6 Bengals, and last place at the Browns were 7-7. Oh my gosh, it's like an ice cream headache, or like a this much of a loss can make that much of a difference from Browns being from 4th to 1st.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, and that's it. I mean, it's I don't think ESPN's put out the playoff machine yet, but the really interesting one. I mean, it's really this weekend for me with the Bengals and the Raiders, and they're Bengals and the Ravens, and this is between being at home for the playoffs or being at home at your couch for the playoffs. Yeah, one team is going to be hosting a playoff game. One team is going to be hosting, a NASCAR party.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was in the elevator at the Great Wolf Lodge in Colorado Springs, and there was a dude there who was wearing a Dolphins mask. And I just go look at him and I go, beat the Patriots, because you always do.
Yeah, exactly.
And
yeah, that's going to be an interesting end of the season as well. I mean, because the Patriots have the Bills, the Jags at home, and then they go down to Miami week 18. Bills are looking at going to the Patriots and then hosting Atlanta and the Jets. So, if the Bills pull off a win against the Patriots this weekend, I don't think they will, but if they pull off a win against the Patriots this weekend, they went out and they could end up being, a 2 or 3 seed.
It's just crazy how I think the Bills have the second best point differential in the AFC right now to the Patriots.
Yeah.
I have to look that up just to make sure. No, actually, they have the best point differential in the AFC. They're plus 151. The Patriots are plus 140. That's going to be a great game. And yeah, if the Bills beat the Patriots, I think they're going to run the table and take the East, in my opinion. But
yeah, I mean that would be an interesting turn of events. I mean, you would see both the Chiefs and the Bills in that scenario kind of do the full circle situation, where they
lead the NFL in point differential. I mean, so
no, I mean they've won some seriously crooked games. They've lost some games that they shouldn't, but they've won some games by some seriously crooked scores.
Yep.
They've blown the doors off a lot of teams.
They have.
But yeah, it'll be interesting. Any NFC teams that you guys have your eyes on? Any observations you would pull out at this point?
The 49ers are kind of coming out of left field right now. It'd be interesting to see if they can actually, I think they'll make the playoffs, but can they actually make some noise in the playoffs? That'll be interesting to me.
Yeah, the 49ers are definitely a team that I have my eye on as well. And it seems like they're kind of taking all the visibility off the Arizona Cardinals, honestly.
they're hitting their stride right now, and at the right time. So we'll see if they keep that momentum.
Yeah, I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo has obviously proven that he can go to a Super Bowl, and the 49ers have some weapons. I mean, Deebo Samuel's as good of a receiver as you're going to find, this side of Tyreek Hill and Devontae Adams. He's yeah, exactly. I mean, he's probably that tier right below those guys, so you expect them to put up numbers every single week. So how much stock do you take in the Bucks getting destroyed by the Saints? Was that a bad matchup, or was that just a team that's falling apart?
Told you don't trust Tom Brady. Finally
don't trust Tom Brady.
It took me 15 years or whatever it was, but I knew he sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, the poor Microsoft tablet.
Oh God!
I think it was Gardner Johnson that I think he filed like a ticket or something with Microsoft to get his tablet replaced.
That's funny.
I remember watching that and it's like, oh my God, if I'm marketing for the Microsoft tablet, the Microsoft Surface, I'm like, oh, Monday's gonna suck. I'm gonna have to figure out, or Tuesday, whatever the game was on, I have to put a message together. But yeah, that was it's one of those. Okay, I'm talking up the Bucks game to kind of a Chiefs Titans situation here. That's when my thought process is at. Just a fluke, kind of random, nonsensical thing. They didn't seem like they were on. Everyone seemed off. So I mean, looking at the Titans now, they just seem like doesn't seem like the team that beat us as hard as they did. But that's my thought process on that.
Well, the Bucks are actually pretty banged up right now too. I mean, they lost Chris Godwin for the season.
Yeah,
Leonard Fournette's going to be nursing a hamstring. Mike Evans, I don't know how serious his injury is, but Chris Godwin's a big loss actually for them. We'll see how that affects them.
Yeah, I definitely disagree with you on one major point, Brian. If you work for Microsoft in PR, product management, any of those things, working on that tablet, that was the best day of your life, that you get to sit there and catapult off of every single meme in the world, showing pictures of Tom Brady throwing your product. I think that your worst case scenario is your technical manual writers might have to put something in there about the product not being made to be thrown. This is from Chris Porter's vein about we have to write manuals and stuff for stupid people because they become a marketing demographic because there's so many of them, which is why you have to put things like flammable on gasoline and don't eat on paint. Don't throw your Microsoft Surface Pro. But no, I mean, that's the kind of stuff, that's product placement that you can't even pay for. Just that was those people's best day of their lives.
Yeah.
Well, Josh, I'm glad. I wish. I wish you were in the marketing room with me, because I like to see it. You see the silver lining within the dark cloud, outside the dark cloud. So I need that kind of enthusiasm in my life.
Yeah. Well, there you go. We're open for business here. All right. So any fantasy stats that jumped out at you guys?
God, my fantasy teams are just in the tank right now.
I've got one. The team that I care about the most got its doors blown off in the playoffs. Convenient time to have your lowest point score of the season. But I do have my second, one of my second or third most important teams, because our content creator one. We got dealt just a horrible division that we couldn't win. We had a good game this last weekend as well, but I had a team where I did not recognize Lamar Jackson not playing, and so I left him in the starting lineup. So 0 is my stat that I want to throw out. I scored 142 points still. So the rest of my team was quite stout. So without a quarterback, I did that. So what that legitimately means is that a good Lamar Jackson game, and I'm flirting with 200. So anyway, if this week was a song, where you guys going there?
Well, since I got jumped over for the fantasy football, I'm gonna call the Jonathan Taylor song.
Oh, sorry. I thought you didn't have anything. My bad.
Jonathan Taylor, the dude's a rock star. I'm guessing they did the announcements for the Pro Bowlers. I'm guessing he had to have made it.
He did, yeah.
100%, yeah.
Yes.
He's a star. 23 point. He's always just delivered. So yeah, Pro Bowl. Remember, that's the fun thing about doing this is I get to know who John Taylor is, and I realize that he's a stud and a Pro Bowler, and so I'll never forget his name. But if this week is a song, though, oh gosh, I'm guessing we want to feel hopeful, something hopeful, or something like I'm not afraid to take. Yeah,
that's definitely a song. Yeah.
That song. Okay, that one.
Nice. Jonathan Taylor has to be the fantasy MVP. Have you guys heard of the whole thing? If you win a league and you have a player that you drafted that's the driving force, that you donate part of your winnings to their charity of choice?
No, I hadn't heard of that.
Yeah. So I've heard of that, and I also know Titans Anthony that comes on here from time to time. He has a Ryan Tannehill jersey because the first year he played in a league with me, he won, and Ryan Tannehill was his week 3 waiver wire pickup, and that's probably the majority of the reason why he's a Titans fan. But so he bought a James Robinson jersey last year because that was the team that propelled him to 3rd place, and so he might end up having this like weird type of thing. But yeah, Brian, if you end up winning a league with Jonathan Taylor on your roster, that would be a good thing, because there was nobody calling that he was going to be that guy at the beginning of the season. So
I'll have to keep that in mind, but I don't think I'm winning any leagues. So, but I might have to buy the jersey anyway for the fun of it.
But you made the Jonathan Taylor song. That's cool.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
Yeah, Rod Rock and the Action Boys.
Yeah, let's see if they can put together a song and make that come to life. Let's see what happens. I'll talk to the lead singer about that.
Yeah, sounds good. Chris, what's your week as a song?
Well, I've been a big Beatles kid because I just finished the Get Back documentary. So,
you finished that?
Yeah. Given how crazy, I mean, my head has been spinning the last couple of days with all, the Chiefs hitting the COVID list, and it's just like you hold your breath for the next day. So, I'm going with Helter Skelter by the Beatles because I mean, it's just been. My head has just been spinning by everything right now.
Helter Skelter.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Does Yoko Ono continue to look bored the whole time in that documentary?
Yeah, I don't think she really utters a word. She just, she'll make sounds in the microphone, but I don't think she really talks the entire time.
All right.
So she's the South Park character version of Yoko Ono.
Yeah, she's attached to John the entire time. That's
interesting. So the song I'm going to go with, we're on a 7-game win streak. So I was trying to think of songs about 7. I'm looking forward to this 7-year egg thing for Denver. I used that one. Thought about using the Prince song 7, but I just don't really know that fits. So I went with a different direction. We're going with the 7 Nation Army, which was the song that came out by the White Stripes, and it was the best bass line that came out its release year, and it's played on an electric 6-string guitar that's just tuned really low. So well played, Jack White, 7 Nation Army, and they are not going to hold us back against Pittsburgh.
Yeah, now it's turned into a pep band
anthem
legend now. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that's just a fun song to play, and I mean that riff is one of those things that about anybody can pick up a guitar and just do, and then grab a slide and do the whole thing as just like a flat out bar chord. It's a fun fun
There's a
riff to
Kansas,
play.
the Kansas reference in there too. So I'm always a big fan of that too.
I'm going to Wichita.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, the music video. I mean, that thing.
I don't
that
know.
music video will make your head spin. But yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why you'd go to Wichita, but that's where we're going.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess what's there? Nothing, I guess. Wichita State, watch some basketball, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. I
Yeah.
mean, they've got like a river or something that goes through in downtown. You got Kellogg Boulevard. I mean,
There's a water park there, isn't there?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure they have a zoo. My cousin got married there. There's a museum. That's where his wedding was. So I know that's happening. But yeah.
And that's it.
Yep. Okay, cool. Well, anything else football we want to talk about, or do you want to hit our final takes?
Final takes. I got a final take
takes,
football related.
All right, Brian. I feel like you've
Go,
been
Brian.
waiting all day for this one, so let her rip.
Okay. Yesterday, I'm at my parents' house right now, and we're getting kind of bored of watching football. Of like watching football today. So you know what I did? I got on YouTube and I watched the comeback for the Oilers and Buffalo Bills. It's on YouTube.
Yeah.
The whole game is on YouTube, and we watched.
I watched it too. Yeah.
Yeah. So final take. Get on there if you want to watch that. I watched that in real time when I remember that game watching when I was a kid. And my mom was there, and she's like, I remember saying this, and I remember her saying that, or whatever. She goes, if they can score that many points in the first half, the other team could score that many points in the second half, And she's like, totally right. He said it was like very poignant. But yeah, so Oilers, Buffalo Bills, 92, the comeback, YouTube search that. And you also get to see Monday Night Football or whatever it was, like back in the early 90s, how it was organized. It's just a relic. I recommend go watch that. It's a great game.
That's great.
I remember when we were losing to the Texans in the divisional game. I think it had gotten to, what was it, 24-0 at one point?
It got to 24-0.
I looked at Bob Larson. I just said, well, I mean, the Bills came back against the Oilers, right?
You know what Bob Larson did when that score was 24-0?
What did he do?
He bought tickets for the AFC Championship game and walked over to
yeah.
me and just goes, "Hey, Tim and I are going to go to the AFC Championship game. Do you want to go?" And I'm like, "What? Dude, I don't know. I'm trying to watch this game, and I'm rooting for a comeback." I'm like, "What the? I don't know. Come find me at halftime,
Well, yeah. And 10 minutes later, it's like, oh.
And by then, Adrian had bought a ticket, and I'm just like, "Yes, all right, fine, let's go. Let's do it." And best football game I've ever been to.
That's awesome. Yeah, Thurman Thomas, Bruce Smith, Jim Kelly.
Yeah.
All there. It's just like a little trip down memory lane there.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, Chris, what do you got?
Well, I'm going to echo a take by Seren Petro, the guy I listen to all the time on 810. He brought this up, and it's an interesting, I guess, development and story. So North Carolina State's men's basketball team, if you didn't know, they've actually been one of the several programs that have been sanctioned by the NCAA from, essentially, paying players to come to school and all the benefits given out by coaching staffs on recruitment. What NC State was slapped on the hands for doing is that they were actually accused of giving 40 grand to a player to come to NC State. It was player Dennis Smith. The fallout from this, though, and this is what's interesting, is that the fallout from all this, I mean, they actually have on record a $40,000 transaction going on, is that the NC State is not getting a serious penalty, and this is coming from, and I hadn't heard of this group before, but the Independent Accountability Resolution Process by the NCAA, IARP, kind of like AARP, I guess, but
sounds like kangaroo court.
Yeah, but they're only getting sanctioned scholarship reductions and a $5,000 fine, no postseason ban. Now, why do I bring that up? There happens to be a cloud right now over Lawrence, Kansas, about similar type of allegation. Well, not allegations. I mean, let's face it, Curtis Townsend was busted on the phone, basically asking for money to bring in a player. But Kansas didn't actually, there is no proof that Kansas actually traded or paid any type of finite dollar amount to any player. And the fact that NC State is not going to face a postseason ban could bode well for Kansas when I guess whatever the penalty actually finally comes down after, whatever they're on second or third appeal with the NCAA. So I just, he brought that up. I found it really interesting because, we've just kind of been waiting for the day to come where it's like, okay, is Bill Self going to get suspended? Are we not going to, be playing in the tournament this year or next year? And it could be to where neither of those happen.
Yeah, that would be crazy. I mean, it's like you say, it's just waiting for the shoe to fall and knowing that there's a potential out. And, I think it doesn't hurt that a lot of the stuff that you're talking about is just legal now.
Oh yeah, and that's the other thing. I mean, it really is, and I think that probably helped out North Carolina State, and it's going to help out the other schools right now that are dealing with the NCAA.
Yeah, really, I think the mission is just don't get caught doing what Pitino was doing in Louisville. It's like if you can handle not bringing prostitutes into a dorm, then we might be able to come to an agreement on some of this stuff.
Or at least know what the hell's going on in your program, even if he still claims that he didn't know what was going on. That's just straight up negligence. I mean, come on.
Lack of institutional control. That's what that is. And from his standpoint, I don't believe it. It just, you can tell by looking at that guy, he's a control freak. It's like, no, nobody's throwing a party that you don't know about. I don't believe it.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right. I got a really quick final take. Just got to say, come on, you Spurs, moving on against West Ham United in the Carabao Cup, which is one of the 2 knockout tournaments in English European football. So that's all I got.
Oh my God.
Thanks.
All right. Well, go Chiefs. Beat the Steelers. See you next week.
Go Chiefs.
Chiefs.